Recording.
Hello, and welcome to our sing-along. Don't forget to leave your requests for hymns and praise songs in the comments during the sing-along. I'm grateful that you're taking the time to join me as we sing some hymns and praise songs to our ever-powerful God. My hope for this sing-along is that you will be encouraged, uplifted, and that you will know more about Jesus than before. I have a quick announcement. We're taking a break next week. It's a short week for me due to the holiday this weekend, so there will be no sing-along on July the 9th. We will resume again on July 16th. Let's invite God to join us tonight. Would you please bow your heads with me? Faithful and loving God, we have gathered to sing and to make music with the heavens because we love to tell the story of unseen things above. The story of how you're beautiful beyond description, too marvelous for words. We join all things now living in thanksgiving of the old rugged cross, where Jesus died to save us from sin. So let us trade in our sorrows, our sickness, our pain, and our shame, as we lay them down for the joy of the Lord. Amen. Our first song tonight is Sing, Sing, Sing by Chris Tomlin. While I couldn't find any information about this specific song, here's a little bit about Chris himself. A Texas native, his music of choice while growing up was country. Then, while recovering from mono, Chris's father gave him his first guitar, and he began branching out from just the honky-tonk he had been interested in. By age 14, Chris had written his first worship song. Chris enrolled in college thinking he'd ultimately pursue a career in physical therapy. Of course, God had other plans. After earning a degree in psychology, Chris became friends with Louis Giglio. Louis is the founder of Passion, a movement designed to create an awakening on college campuses. Responding to his friend's invitation to be part of the first Passion worship event for college students in Austin, Texas, Chris found his life's calling in leading worship. Now, more than 2 decades after getting involved with Passion, Chris continues to bring us into God's presence through his music. Let us sing, sing, sing. Grateful that you hear us when we shout your praise. Eliza Edmonds Hewitt was born in 1851, graduated as valedictorian of her normal school class, and went on to teach in the public schools in Philadelphia. All of this suddenly ended when she suffered a debilitating back injury and became bedridden for an extended period of time. Could she have been bitter? Certainly. Could she have complained to God about the unfairness of it all? None of us would have blamed her if she did. But the truth is, she didn't. From her bed, she studied English literature and began to sing and write. She took this time to learn more about Jesus. This was her prayer to her Lord, that he open her eyes so that she would see more of him and reflect more of him. Some of the poems became known to a Professor John R. Sweeney, who set them to music. Let us sing More About Jesus Would I Know.
Sing
Sorry about that word in there. It was supposed to be hungering. Arabella Catherine Hankey, who lived 1834 to 1911, grew up in the family of a wealthy English banker. As a teenager, she taught a girls' Sunday school class. Later, she traveled to South Africa to serve as a nurse and to assist her invalid brother. While recovering from a lengthy illness of her own at the age of 30, she wrote a very lengthy poem on the life of Christ. This poem had two sections. The first, published in January 1866 and entitled "The Story Wanted." The second, published later that year in November under the title "The Story Told." Our hymn that we just sang, "I Love to Tell the Story," is drawn from stanzas in the second section. The text of the refrain was written by the composer of the music, William G. Fisher, in 1869. He was a musician and a piano dealer from Philadelphia. Over the years, people have asked Mark Altrog how he wrote the song "I Stand in Awe." He says, quote, "I wish I had some jaw-dropping tale of how I was caught up to the third heaven and handed a scroll with the lyrics written in gold ink. Or at least that I was driving in my car and the song came into my mind in a flash of divine inspiration. No, my songwriting process is usually pretty pedestrian and mundane, slow and unimpressive. Because God is infinite, there will always be things about himself that only he knows. Throughout eternity, those he redeemed will never come to an end of seeing new vistas of his glory, majesty, and beauty. So I thought I'd attempt to write a song about the wonder and glory of God's infinite attributes. Hey, how hard can it be to write a song about a being who is infinite, right?" Unquote. This song is a request from my Christian sister in Valparaiso, Erin. When polls are taken to determine the most popular American hymns, inevitably near the top of the list is The Old Rugged Cross. It has been the most favored of the approximately 300 songs written by George Bernard. Bernard was born into a very modest family in Youngstown, Ohio in 1873. Later in life, George became an itinerant Methodist preacher and served for several years in Canada and in some of our northern states. In 1912, as he was thinking of Christ's crucifixion, an original melody ran through his mind. He later reported that although it was a complete melody, very few words came with it. He struggled to write some appropriate lyrics, but all that came was the passage, "I'll cherish the old rugged cross." The song seemed to take shape in bits and pieces. He completed the chorus and was pleased with his efforts, but the verses he composed did not seem proper and suitable. He returned from several preaching engagements to his home in Albion, Michigan, with a renewed meaning of the cross etched into his mind and heart. He took the manuscript on which he had labored for so long and placed it on the kitchen table. In a very short span of time, he was able to rewrite the stanzas, with each word falling perfectly into place. Bernard said what countless other songwriters say, "I really didn't write it. I was merely the instrument that God used." To the old rugged cross I will ever be true, its shame and reproach gladly bear. Then he'll call me someday to my home far away, where his glory forever I'll share. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for That must be one of Apollo's favorites, too. Okay, we hear you. Sometimes a hymn begins as another musical genre. Such is the case with Let All Things Now Living. Catherine Kennicott Davis, who lived 1892 to 1980, published this text as an anthem in 1939 under the pseudonym of John Cowley. Catherine was born in St. Joseph, Missouri. Following her high school education, she studied at Wellesley College, at the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, and in Paris for an interval of time with the famous composition teacher and conductor, Nadia Boulanger. Catherine was an educator for some years until she suffered a breakdown in her health. She shifted her efforts to composing, resulting in more than 800 vocal and instrumental compositions, including shorter pieces, operas, and cantatas. Miss Davis is best known for her popular Christmas song, The Little Drummer Boy, from 1941. Originally known as Carol of the Drum. Let All Things Now Living is most popular during the Thanksgiving season. Much of the popularity of this hymn comes with its pairing with the buoyant Welsh folk tune, The Ash Grove. The roots of this melody may be found in the 18th century. Davis's use of the tune in her 1939 anthem brought the tune to broader denominational prominence in the United States. This is going to be interesting. Wrong pedal. Let all things now now have a kitty cat on my lap. If you say, Daryl Evans, I'm not sure I've heard of him before, then Daryl believes he's doing his job right. That's because, first and foremost, as a worshiper, Daryl knows that the song is more important than the person. One of the most sung worship choruses in churches around the world, Trading My Sorrows, is a strangely celebratory tune about being pressed and persecuted. The simple yet resounding chorus, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, is an agreement with the things that God is doing in the life of the worshiper, a cry of thanks. Part of the strength of the song is that it came spontaneously out of an honest time of worship, which Daryl says is how the most powerful songs he's written have been birthed. It's also a song that everyone who has had a bad day, a bad week, or even a bad month can relate to, because it celebrates laying those burdens down before the Lord and trading them for the joy he has to offer. All right, Apollo. This one's a little more lively. That was playing up and down. He is a silly boy. Woo, that was fun. Thank you so much for singing with me tonight. It's been a little adventure tonight. But my prayer closing is that God will be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Loving counsels guide uphold you. With the shepherd's care enfold you. God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet, till we meet, till we meet at Jesus' feet. Till we meet, till we meet. God be with you till we meet again. Remember, we're taking a break next week. There will be no sing-along on July 9th. I'll see you again on July the 16th. May God watch over you and protect you until next time. Good night.